Mbappe, Thuram, Mbappe!
Just 1 year ago, this man shocked the whole world by almost ending the dream of a GOAT. At that point, people, though, that he as easily became the world's best player without any question. On the other side, Real Madrid fans were getting crazy for him. They assumed that he will return the prime eras of Madrid. Remember when Kylian Mbappé was hailed as the next big thing in football? The French wonderkid who took the world by storm, leading his country to World Cup glory at just 19. Everyone thought he was destined for greatness at Real Madrid. But what if I told you that Mbappé's dream move to the Spanish giants turned wrong? Let's look at the entire career of Kylian Mbappé. At just 16, Kylian Mbappé became Monaco's youngest ever first-team player, but his journey to that moment was far from easy. Born in Bondy, a suburb of Paris, Mbappé grew up in a place where football wasn't just a sport, it was a way of life. Kids played on every street corner, dreaming of becoming the next Zidane or Henry. For young Kylian, football was everything. He'd spend hours kicking a ball around with his father, Wilfred, who coached at the local club. His mother, Faiza, a former handball player, encouraged his passion, but talent alone wasn't enough. Despite his obvious skills, Mbappé faced rejection from some of France's top academies. They thought he was too small, but Kylian didn't let it discourage him. His breakthrough came when Monaco's youth scouts spotted him. They saw what others had missed. Not just skill, but a burning determination to succeed. At Monaco's academy, Mbappé flourished. He outshone players years older than him, breaking scoring records left and right. Coaches were amazed by his speed, his technique, and his ability to read the game. Mbappé's rise through Monaco's ranks was meteoric. At 16 years and 347 days, he made his first-team debut, breaking Thierry Henry's long-standing record. But it was the 2016-17 season when Mbappé truly exploded onto the world stage. He became a key player in Monaco's thrilling run to the Ligue 1 title, scoring 26 goals in all competitions. His performances in the Champions League, particularly against Manchester City, made the football world sit up and take notice. By the end of that season, Mbappé had achieved more than most players do in their entire careers. He'd won Ligue 1, been named in the Champions League Team of the Season, and become the youngest player to score in a Champions League semi-final. At just 18, he was already being compared to the likes of Ronaldo and Messi. But Mbappé's journey was far from over. As the 2017 summer transfer window opened, every top club in Europe wanted to sign him. PSG, Real Madrid, Barcelona, they all saw in Mbappé the potential for greatness. Little did they know, the most exciting chapter of Mbappé's story was about to begin. PSG had won the battle for his signature, but at what cost? The pressure of a 180 million euros price tag now weighed heavily on the shoulders of a 19-year-old. Could Mbappé live up to the enormous expectations, or would he crumble under the spotlight? Mbappé's arrival at PSG was met with a mix of excitement and skepticism. Fans were thrilled to see the young star join forces with Neymar and Cavani, forming one of the most formidable attacking trios in football history. But critics questioned whether such a massive investment in a teenager was justified. The early days at PSG weren't easy for Mbappé. He struggled to find his rhythm in a star-studded team, often looking overwhelmed by the pressure. There were moments of brilliance, but also frustrating performances where he seemed lost on the pitch. Some began to whisper that PSG had made a costly mistake, but Mbappé was determined to prove his worth. He worked tirelessly on his game, refining his skills and building his physical strength. By the end of his first season, Mbappé had scored 21 goals across all competitions, silencing many of his doubters. It was in his second season that Mbappé truly exploded. He became a goal-scoring machine, finding the net with remarkable consistency. His pace, skill, and clinical finishing made him a nightmare for defenders. In Ligue 1, he was unstoppable, netting 33 goals in just 29 appearances. Mbappé's performances in the Champions League also caught the eye. While PSG struggled to make it past the round of 16, Mbappé shone on the European stage. His hat-trick against Club Brugge and Association. But it was the 2018 World Cup that truly cemented Mbappé's status as a global superstar. At just 19, he played a crucial role in France's triumph. His blistering pace and clinical finishing terrorized defenses throughout the tournament. In the final against Croatia, Mbappé scored a stunning long-range goal, becoming the first teenager since Pelé to score in a World Cup final. By the end of 2019, there was no doubt that Mbappé had established himself as one of the world's best players. He had won multiple League One titles, been named League One Player of the Year, and finished 6th in the Ballon d'Or voting. His trajectory seemed unstoppable. As Mbappe's star continued to rise, whispers of interest from Real Madrid grew louder. The Spanish giants had long admired the French phenom, seeing in him the potential to be their next great Galactico. With the football world at his feet and seemingly limitless potential, it seemed only a matter of time before Mbappe would make the move to the Bernabeu. Little did anyone know this dream transfer would soon turn into a nightmare. Imagine a transfer saga so intense it captivated the entire football world for years. Real Madrid's chase for Kylian Mbappé was exactly that. But why would one of the world's biggest clubs go to such lengths for a single player? The answer lies in Real Madrid's storied history of signing Galacticos, superstar players who bring both skill and glamour to the Santiago Bernabeu. From Zinedine Zidane to Cristiano Ronaldo, these marquee signings have defined eras for the club. In Mbappé, Real Madrid saw the next chapter of their legacy, a generational talent who could lead them into a new golden age. The pursuit of Mbappe was a roller coaster ride that kept fans on the edge of their seats. For years, Real Madrid and PSG engaged in a high-stakes game of cat and mouse. Before moving on, make sure to like the video if you think Mbappe will be the next big thing in Madrid, and subscribe to the channel for such videos in the future. Now let's continue on to the video. Every transfer window brought new rumors, each more tantalizing than the last. Would this be the summer Mbappe finally donned the famous white jersey? When the transfer finally happened, it shattered records. The fee was astronomical, even by modern football standards. Mbappe's contract made him one of the highest-paid athletes in the world. But for Real Madrid, no price was too high for a player they believed could define a generation. Mbappe's arrival in Madrid was nothing short of a royal welcome. Thousands of fans packed the streets, waving flags and chanting his name. At his unveiling, the Santiago Bernabeu was electric with anticipation. Mbappe kissed the badge, held up his new jersey, and promised to give his all for the club. It was a moment of pure footballing theater. The expectations for Mbappe at Real Madrid were sky high. Fans and pundits alike predicted he would dominate La Liga, lead Real Madrid to Champions League glory, and compete for the Ballon d'Or. The focal point of a new-look Real Madrid that would conquer Europe once again. In those early days, it seemed like a match made in footballing heaven. Mbappe had the skill, Real Madrid had the prestige, and together they looked unstoppable. But as we've seen time and time again in football, things don't always go according to plan. The dream transfer was about to face the harsh light of reality, and no one could have predicted what would happen next. Dreams can turn into nightmares faster than a Mbappe sprint. Despite the grand welcome and sky-high hopes, something wasn't clicking for the French superstar at the Santiago Bernabeu. What invisible force was holding back one of the world's most electrifying talents? Mbappe's early performances at Real Madrid were a far cry from the explosive displays that had made him a global sensation. His first El Clasico against Barcelona became a symbol of his struggles. In a match where Real Madrid needed their star signing to shine, Mbappe looked lost and out of sync with his teammates. The crowning moment of disappointment came when he stepped up to take a crucial penalty, only to see his weak effort easily saved by the Barcelona goalkeeper. As the matches went by, Mbappe's form didn't improve. His lightning pace was still there, but his decision-making seemed off. Passes went astray, shots flew wide, and his trademark clinical finishing deserted him. In a Champions League group stage match against Borussia Dortmund, Mbappe squandered 3 clear-cut chances, leaving fans and pundits scratching their heads. The criticism from fans and media grew louder with each underwhelming performance. Social media was ablaze with hashtags questioning Mbappe's commitment and ability. Spanish newspapers, known for their unforgiving coverage, ran headlines like "The 180 euros million mistake" and "Mbappe from wonderkid to washout." The psychological impact of the mounting pressure was evident in Mbappe's body language. The confident swagger that had defined his play at PSG was replaced by hesitation and self-doubt. In post-match interviews, his usual eloquence gave way to mumbled excuses and promises to do better. Mbappe's form started to noticeably decline around the 3rd month of the season. What began as a slow start had evolved into a concerning pattern. In a pivotal league match against Atletico Madrid, Mbappe was substituted at halftime after touching the ball just 14 times in 45 minutes. It was a new low for a player who had once seemed unstoppable, As the season progressed, the whispers of a curse grew louder. Some fans even began to draw parallels to other high-profile transfers that had failed to live up to expectations at the Bernabeu. The question on everyone's lips was no longer if Mbappe would lead Real Madrid to glory, but whether he could salvage his career at the club before it was too late. Mbappe's story highlights the immense pressure young stars face in modern football. The astronomical transfer fees and intense media scrutiny can be overwhelming, even for the most talented players. It's a stark reminder that success at one club doesn't guarantee immediate results at another. There is no doubt he is a brilliant player, and we cannot decide just with his bad start. There can also be a comeback, but the fans can't see another talent go down in drain.